If you're running out of things to do in Destiny, Solo Flawless Shattered Throne is the answer to filling that void in your soul, and I have a guide for you here today that shows you how to beat the entire thing in like 20 minutes. Not only do you get a sense of pride and accomplishment, but you also get the most valuable piece of loot in all of Destiny: bragging rights. With this rare drop, your friends will think you are cool, you'll be able to join a top tier clan, you'll be offered millions of dollars by strangers on a whim, things will just go your way. It's awesome. I myself have solo flawless Shattered Throne many a time, and look at me now. So how do you do it in 20 minutes? Well, first things first, no seasonal mods. We don't mess with those. I mean, you can if you want to, but I'm not going to recommend any specific seasonal mods in this guide. Why? Because I want this to be relevant to you whether you do it in 2022 or 2022. If you're the cloak wearer, you'll copy whatever is on screen right now. You can pause it and take a screenshot. I'll wait. No, not yet. Sucker them in with more info, then we ask. If you're the clan enthusiast, you'll copy this. Nope, sorry, I didn't give you enough time to screenshot. Here you go. Okay, you good? Good. Warlocks, don't worry, I got you too. Yours is slightly more complicated, we'll explain that later. Also, if you're missing some or all of the mods I am showing on screen, honestly, it's not a big deal. These mods definitely make it easier, but they are by no means required by any stretch of the imagination. Now, how do you use these builds? Simple. You don't really need to know exactly what all the stuff does. God knows I don't. On the Hunter, you just punch, then dodge, then punch, then dodge. Every time you kill something, you get full HP and go invisible. Oh, and if it's a tankier target, you shoot your 1-2 punch shotgun right before you punch it. Easy. Oh, and please make sure that you are using auto melee, which you can find in your settings tab, and don't worry, console/controller players, you can do it too. Just go to controller, custom, and boom. Now, if you're on the Titan, you actually do not want to use auto melee. You instead want to bind charged melee and uncharged melee to the same button. Equipping these should automatically unbind auto melee for you as well. Here, it's pretty much the same thing as the Hunter, except instead of punching stuff, you're throwing a flaming hammer. Instead of going invisible, you are creating puddles of fire that heal you. Lovely. For the Warlock, the focus is much more on your guns. Boring, but you'll be throwing tons of grenades, so it's all good. Any damage while in a rift gives you grenades, and kills with your grenades give you your rift. Witherhoard comes in huge for this as well. But to be honest, if you would rather go the safer route, you can go healing rift instead of empowering and just get use out of Starfire Protocol when you are in your well. Your run will be a bit slower, but much safer. Up to you. Now, to start, you have to go to each station, kill all the guys at that station, and then go to the next station based on what symbol pops up. Here's a pretty killer map made by Ebontis that shows you the entire layout of the first room, including where to go for each symbol and what trash mobs spawn where throughout the zone. This part is pretty basic. You'll just play at whatever pace you are comfortable with as you punch everything with the Hunter, bonk everything with the Titan, and grenade everything with the Warlock. After beating this, you'll head to the room that I don't have a good name for. If you are on a Warlock, you'll switch to Heat Rises immediately after finishing the first encounter off of Touch of Flame, waiting for a grenade to charge, at which point you can eat it for Heat Rises and float/Icarus Dash to skip the bottom section. From here, you'll throw on a long-range weapon to knock down all the snipers, then hop down to nuke the captain. After that, it's back to the long-range weapon to plink at the hobgoblin snipers, knights, and phalanxes as you slowly make your way down the bridge. For the Titans and Hunters, it's run through and melee quite literally every single thing. I mean, what else did you think I was going to tell you to do? For the bridge, you can refresh your invis cooldowns by getting a melee kill here and there on the Hunter, and on the Titan, you'll just chuck your hammer at a few phalanxes to proc your healing puddles. If they put their shields up, just aim for the feet, or shoot at their feet to stagger them so you can get a clean throw. For the Ogre room, assuming you were killing stuff with your melee, you should be amplified on the Hunter. Assuming that is the case, you can literally zoom past every single thing with the speed booster sprint and enhanced jump, even being able to make the long jumps around blighted pillars. For Titans, you can take similar paths, but you'll have to actually kill the ogres, so slow it down a touch on them. Same with the Warlocks, although your jumps can be made safer with Heat Rises and Icarus Dash. After this section, I recommend switching Heat Rises to Touch of Flame on the Warlock. For the Thrallway, your HP doesn't regenerate, but that doesn't really matter, considering that on the Hunter you can punch to get your HP back, on the Titan you can bonk hammer to get your HP back, and on the Warlock you can Icarus Dash past everything, or just use a healing rift. Just please, whatever you do, consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons as you exit. I don't know why Bungie put those there, but they're there, so might as well, right? Next, you'll cross the terrain, scale the wall, and kill all the phalanxes, which, by the way, be careful about meleeing these guys. If there is anything that can kill you here, it is a smack to the face from a phalanx. Now, do not jump down to the ogre encounter just yet. For whatever reason, the checkpointing in this area of the dungeon is really bugged, and if you hop down too early, you'll either have to waste all of your heavy ammo salvations gripping back up, or you'll just kill your run entirely. Instead, run back and forth until you see the checkpoint update pop up. Should only take 1 or 2 tries. For the Ogre room, Hunters and Titans can once again circle the arena mindlessly, mauling everything with their melee abilities and collecting the 4 balls from the Wizards. Once they get to DPS, they will dunk and use their Wither Horde, heavy linear fusion rifles, and Gathering Storm in the case of the Hunter to burn down the boss. No worries if you can't one phase, simply circle around and do it all again. Oh, and make sure you swap to a fast fire rate primary weapon like an auto rifle or an SMG before you start this to shoot the Axion darts with ease. For the Warlock, you'll play a little more carefully, taking cover and eliminating the goblins and vandals from a distance as best as you can before making your lap around the arena. For DPS, you're doing the exact same thing as the Titan and Hunter, but with a Well of Radiance and a bit more grenade action. After killing the Ogre, you'll simply traverse the terrain between the Ogre and the final boss, where you can pretty much skip past every single enemy full stop. You can take them out for extra safety if you want to, but I pretty much always run past everything and never have a problem. Once you get to the infinite Thrall spawn area, you can optionally sit here and kill some Thrall for a while to top off your ammo since there is no rally flags in this dungeon. If you are on the Hunter, throw on Stompies real quick, hit a dodge, melee kill for the amplified buff, and use your combination of speed booster, Stompies, and double jump to cross the chasm to skip the boop wall. Warlocks can do this exact same skip with Heat Rises and Icarus Dash instead. Titans can do this as well with Catapult Lift, Lion Rampants, and a Sword. If you are more comfortable doing the intended route in the boop wall, however, you can totally do that instead. If you're really worried about getting knocked off, I'd recommend equipping a sword unless you're running Warlock, in which case you can just Icarus Dash back into the wall. Now, I do want to note that the phalanxes before the boop wall love to teleport around, so do your best to take them out quickly if you do choose to go this route, and be extra aware of your surroundings in case one blinks behind you. The final boss is quite simple, with the Hunter wanting to use melees to clear the Scions, followed by Gathering Storm, Wither Horde, and 1-2 punch shotgun to kill the Knights. The Titan will, as usual, just murder every single thing in the universe with the Throwing Hammer and Wither Horde, with the Healing Grenade on standby in case you eat too many hits from the Knights. You can also use the Linear Fusion to kill the Knights instead for extra safety if you prefer. As for the Warlock, I recommend using the Well along with grenades, Wither Horde, and your Linear Fusion to drop all 3 after you kill the Scions with your grenades and Wither Horde. Once the Knights are dead, simply pick up all 3 orbs, find a pillar to strafe in and out behind, and pop Linear Fusion shots, grenades, and Wither Horde at the boss until she drops. If your timer gets low, don't sweat it, just hop on the middle plate and run the loop again. Assuming you make good use of your DPS time though, you should be fine with just 1 phase, in which case, congratulations, you just solo flawlessed Shattered Throne. I don't ask for anything in return for this video other than that you consider liking and subscribing if you found it helpful, and that you come back and comment after you complete your solo flawless, alerting me of your newfound achievement. Good luck out there, thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.